お前たちには計り知れないことだろうが、私たちは真の天国に至る唯一の道に到達した。この世の全ての人類が真の幸福に導かれるための道、アイズ・オブ・ヘブン。何
JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Eyes of Heaven is an action video game for the PlayStation 3 and PlayStation 4 developed by CyberConnect 2 and published by Bandai Namco Entertainment. Based on the JoJo's Bizarre Adventure manga series by Hiroko Araki, Eyes of Heaven is the second game in the franchise to be developed by CyberConnect 2, following 2013's JoJo's Bizarre Adventure All-Star Battle, with which this game shares the same engine. Eyes of Heaven was released for the PlayStation 3 and PlayStation 4 in Japan on December 17th. 2015 was released exclusively on the PlayStation 4 in Western territories on June 28th, 2016. Throughout the years, Eyes of Heaven has cultivated and sustained a heavy and competitive community of players, despite most outsiders assuming the game is dead. In this documentary, we will be covering the Eyes of Heaven scene in the North America region and its legendary, rich, controversial history, as well as speaking with some of the gatekeepers, some of the best players to ever touch this game, so that new players can become familiar with the game's history and get to know its most loved and most hated members. Hello everyone, my name is Call Me Chemical, but you can call me Chemical, and I'll be your narrator on this bizarre journey. This is The Book of Heaven. Our adventure finds us starting off in El Cairo, in front of a lavish mansion. However, there is an immense dark aura coming from inside. It is said those who dare enter quickly meet their death, having their blood sucked dry from their lifeless bodies. Inside the mansion is a powerful vampire, controlled by the player known as Shoku, who over the years has solidified himself as the top Dio player on Eyes of Heaven, as well as once even holding the coveted #1 spot in the leaderboard. In an insightful interview, we really got to know Shoku and the kind of player he is. The journey must, however, continue, as we travel to the beautiful town of Naples, Italy. A strong gust of wind blows by and leads us to a hilltop estate, where we are greeted by a man with talking bullets, who finds the #4 unlucky for some reason. He tells me to take my shoes off and guides me upstairs to a luxurious room. There is a long line of people all in need and kneeling to a man sitting. There is a long line of people all in need and kneeling to a man sitting down. Rocket Snickers, they said. Please show us the way to heaven. You are one of the lords to heaven. Surely you know the way. The man spoke no words and looked at me with a golden resolve.
Alright guys, Rocket Snickers couldn't verbally do this interview. However, we did speak to him through messages, PS messages. And this is what he had to say regarding Eyes of Heaven. Pay close attention to one of the greatest players Eyes of Heaven has ever seen. These are the words of the great Rocket Snickers. Okay, guys. So, we were able to speak to Rocket Snickers through PS messages. And he had a few things to say regarding Eyes of Heaven, the community, and how he got started, you know, his experience on the game. So, you know, we asked him, how did he first find out about Eyes of Heaven? He says, he just saw the trailers for it before they revealed Dio over Heaven. He said that he was an unrecognizable all-star battle player, so he was very hyped as hell about the game coming out soon. We asked him about his reasons for maining Giorno Giovanna. He says that he mains Giorno because he liked them in the anime and how unique his stand power is. And just like Giorno, he can take charge in his own personal life when he feels like he has to. Also because Requiem is so satisfying when it's in Soul Succession. Hey, he ain't lie right there, man. Requiem and Soul Succession is like one of the most OP things in this game, bro. You know, it's one thing you want to avoid. Don't let Giorno get in the Soul Succession. It's over with. But moving on, we asked, can he describe his play style? His main play style was more of the aggressive type. He likes to dash into his opponents and dive kick them mostly. And since he plays Giorno, the opponent's guard gets weaker quickly because of Giorno's dive kick and also his sliding kick. The fourth question that we asked Rocket Snickers was, he was once the #1 player on the leaderboard in North America. We asked, could he tell us about his grind to the top on rank, as I'm sure it was a very legendary one. He had this to say. Sometimes when it comes to rank, people sometimes run away when they're at low health. So I would do a sneaky, sussy type of strategy that I would do if I'm playing the same guy who did the same shit. Makes sense, right? I would play cards because, you know, Saber mode breaks through guard. You know. We asked him about some of his grudge matches that he had that he felt were memorable. He said that there was this one time where him and his friends were playing at Boing Boing Cape, and right when his friend jumped up from the Boing platform, he was able to finish him off with his opponent off with the branch attack, Giorno's branch attack, which was pretty random. Yeah, that would be like a pretty random move to pull off. Actually, be able to pull that off when somebody's like in midair after that Boing. That's it's pretty hard to time that, man. Amazing. We asked him next how he feels about the Eyes of Heaven community, and would he change anything about it? He says that, I think the community is nice as it is. If I were to change anything, I would get rid of the people who would spoil the series. And I know they seen the manga and shit, but still, it's all about the surprise, you know. Makes sense. We hate the spoilers in the community, man. Like, if people haven't read part 6, part 7, part 8, you know what I mean? And there's guys that are just spoiling everything about those parts. It takes away from the surprise element. It takes away from the fun and joy that is JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, you know, the game, the series that we all love, man, you know. So, don't be a manga spoiler, man. Like Rocket says, don't spoil the manga. We asked them, what is some advice that you would give new players just learning Eyes of Heaven? he says that, sorry about that. He says his advice for all the new players was just not to be toxic. Don't be toxic like some people in some groups. Makes sense. And it's kind of what I touched on in my own interview. Don't be so easily influenced by all the negativity, all the toxicity that's going on in the community. Because it's so easy to get caught up in the BS, you know. Don't be one of those lames that get caught up in the bullshit in the community, guys. Is basically what Rocket was trying to say. And lastly, we asked, what would you like to be remembered for? What would your legacy be? And he answered, to be known as the man who got rid of the toxic pet shop player known as Joyaro _Kugo. Even though he barely communicates with him even more. But and also to be remembered as the co-founder of the Rocket and Death Gaze second Impair combo team. Yeah, man, those two were number 1 and number 2 on the leaderboard respectively when I first started playing in early 2019. So and they were literally running the entire leaderboard, man. It was just Rocket, Snickers, and Death Gaze just running Eyes of Heaven with an iron fist, man, you know. So those guys, man, hats off to Rocket. Hats off to Death Gaze. We were unable to reach Death Gaze for this documentary, but we'll still give him his props nonetheless, man. He's a legend. Hey, man, Rocket Snickers, man. We appreciate him giving us these words, man, and taking the time out and doing that for us. And yeah, man, thanks a lot, Rocket Snickers. Thanks for everything you've done for the game and the community. I'm sure everybody appreciates it, man. If they don't, fuck them. They will after this, right? Appreciate it.
Truly one of the GOATs. Too many OG players. Rocket will always be number 1. Moving on, we head back to Egypt, to a small town outside of El Cairo. There's a rumor of a woman with magnetic powers, strong enough to shake up the whole community. This unknown woman, controlled by the player known as Yoshio, has been making magnetic waves for years, solidifying himself as one of the most well-known players and highly favorited to win during the Eyes of Heaven tournaments. Let's have a chat with another Eyes of Heaven legend, Yoshi.
あなたとは初対面だったかしら。私はエジプト救衛神の一人、バステト女神のマライア。
How you doing?
Good myself.
That's cool. So yeah, man, it's gonna be a pretty, probably about like maybe 10 questions, I'm thinking.
Alright.
But yeah, I guess the first one is how did you find out about Eyes of Heaven?
I don't remember exactly how, but I've been into JoJo for a long time, since ninth grade. And I must have just stumbled across the game just somehow online it for a good number of years.
Okay. And so who would you say was a character that you mained the most? Like who did you really main, and why did you choose that character to main?
When I first started playing the game, I mained Doughboy a lot, and that's because he's one of my favorite characters. But I eventually transitioned more into playing Mariah. As I played the game more, I started to opt more for characters who I was more favorable for their gameplay rather than the character themselves, you know?
Right. Okay. Interesting. So, I guess the next thing is, what were your initial goals when you first started playing the game? Like, did you care about going up the leaderboard, or did you care about just being the best with a specific character, or just like what were your goals?
When I first started playing the game, it was really just to like play through story mode. But after I got through that, I spent a lot of time just playing with friends. Going up in ranked mode was more of a side goal, but since the top 10 a few years ago was more achievable than it is now, I kind of just went for that. So a lot of people have become like farmers and for like battle points now, so you can't really get to the top 10 anymore.
Yeah. Right. It's a sad situation. That kind of actually leads to the next question. Like, how do you feel about all the farmers? Because it's like a pretty big group of farmers that have taken up like the top 10 now, as you said. So, like, how do you feel about that, man? Like, how you think that affects new players coming into the game?
It would definitely be discouraging to have one of my first ranked battles, you know, like maybe like if a new player like joins and almost wins a ranked battle, to just find out that people are just going to quit on them. It would be quite discouraging, but I think they probably just transition more to doing regular player matches. But it definitely has stopped me from playing ranked. I've given it up myself, and I only play with friends now since there's no real point, since you just can't have a battle without someone quitting on you. Yeah. Or just like grinding up with like an ult account or whatever.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that's kind of one of the reasons I stopped doing ranked. Yeah. It gets annoying after a while, bro. You just have to give it up. But I guess, like, do you have any memorable grudge matches that you might have had over the years? Because I'm sure you played like thousands of players and had endless matches with people. But what were like some of the most memorable ones that you've had that you can think of?
One of the most memorable matches I had was during a tournament. It was being live streamed by one of the hosts, and the guy who I was fighting was in voice call with the guy who was hosting it, and after he lost to me, he started just screaming and raging in chat, just like slinging all sorts of insults in call, and freaked out so much he left the Discord server. And I won't say who he was, but it was quite hilarious.
Oh, man. Damn. Well, since you did mention the tournament, like, speak about those early JoJo tournaments and all that.
Yeah, they were pretty fun, even if they were a bit disorganized. A lot of people would sign up and then not attend the day of, which led to a lot of like bracket reorganization. But they were always pretty fun. We haven't been able to host as many of these days due to lower player counts and not having enough people to sign up. But they were always pretty fun.
Yeah, I never got to actually participate in one of those, but I used to watch a couple of them. They look real fun to play in.
Yeah.
But I guess the next question, there's a lot of, well, I wouldn't say a lot, but there's a good amount of new players that are coming onto the game and making their way up, making their own names in the game. And I wanted to know if you noticed any of them, if any of them have caught your eye that you might like, or, you know.
I haven't played with too many new players as much recently. As I said earlier, I've started to play more so with just my own personal friends. So I don't really have any specific players I can think of for that question.
Okay, yeah. It's a few guys that are coming up, but I guess what would be your best advice for any new players that you can think that you would like to give out?
I just, it's always good to fight with people who are at or above your skill level, especially above your skill level. I think that's the best way to improve. If you fight people who are newer than you, you won't be picking up on things that more experienced players might know that you won't. So always try and play with people who are above your skill level if you can.
Yeah, that's some good advice. And lastly, I guess out of all the things that have been done on the game, what would you like to be remembered as? Like, what type of player and person would you like to be remembered as on the game?
I guess if I had to be remembered one way, I guess just as someone who's fun to play with. I mean, I like playing with people, you know. Getting to top 10 in ranked isn't as prestigious as a goal as I used to think it was, considering, you know, it's really just filled now with, like, farmers and a lot of people in ranked who you will win against are just going to be new players, since there's not that many, like experienced players playing it, you know.
Right.
So I guess I just really like having fun with the game.
Okay. All right, man. So, thanks a lot, Yoshio. I really appreciate you taking the time for the interview.
No problem, man. I hope you have a good documentary. Hope it goes well.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I'll definitely keep you updated on it.
Well, that was a cool interview. Now we head across to the States. There's a race going on across the country, and only one man can be the winner. He's highly underestimated because of his handicap, but don't be fooled. This Eyes of Heaven veteran has the eyes of a killer and the skills to match. It's time for the next lesson. Pay your respects to the one and only Grand Papyrus.
Okay. So as far as like main characters, who would you say is a character that you main, or like just main consistently, and why did you decide to main them?
Well, I've had a opinions over the time of playing the game, although it drastically differed from where I am now. At the beginning, I started off like what a lot of people are doing right now. At the beginning, the first person I played like that was Yosuke. Like a lot of people, right?
Yeah.
But after a while, actually like learning stuff about the game, it didn't take long for me to realize how like boring and like a meta of a character he was. So I swapped to someone else.
Okay.
And then the second person I made after that was Johnny. So I was just like, you know what? Not a lot of people play Johnny. I'm gonna see what he can do. You know. It was cool playing somebody who was just different than the rest of the roster. A lot of people barely even knew how to fight against Johnny because he was so little played.
Right.
As time went on, the last person that I named was Yoshio, just because he's another person who was just different, you know, like than a lot of the other people in the game. And
Very slept on, man. Very slept on character.
like a lot of people don't really know about his moveset or what he can do, so it's just another different person. But as is right now, the only person I really feel like play very consistently anyway is if I'm really trying to play Joseph. He's kind of just like my all-time. If things are going down, this is who I'm playing.
Joseph, okay.
Yeah, young.
Young Joseph.
Yeah, man.
Can't go wrong with young Joseph, man. He has a lot of tricks up his sleeve, you know.
Yeah.
But
Just like the versatility of the tools, you know.
yeah, can you tell us about your early days of As of Heaven? Like, what year did you start playing, and how was those days for you?
Okay, yeah. Back in the day, I always tell people about there was this original group of people that I played with. I don't really know where they are now. I've tried to get in contact with them a couple times, but they're on their own thing now. I played with this guy named I guess he's only on YouTube, so I don't want his full name. But one dude's name was Toaster, and the other dude's name was I don't remember the other dude's name. Yeah, I always tell people about this because originally, back when I was first starting to play the game like 3 years ago, it was so funny. We were all noobs and didn't really know anything about the game. So we originally had thought the strongest things that were in the game were Scary Monsters Diego and what is it? Kira, because he has killer or sheer heart attack.
Yeah, heart attack.
We didn't understand how to combat them. Like, we didn't think that you could just like look out and make sure sheer heart attack wasn't coming for you.
Right.
And then at the exact same time, we didn't understand the concept of a grab. So every single time we fought Scary Monsters Diego, we just always just sat there and tried to fight him when he had the super armor and lost over and over and over again. Actually, the thing that really got me into playing like the game kind of like more competitively was I don't know if you know who they are, but the M1s. I knew them way back in the day.
Weather M1s?
Yeah. Those people like that. Weather M1, Jorno M1, all those people. Iggy M1. Yeah, because they were like some of the first people I met online. And I didn't really know anything about them because apparently they were really like disliked members of the community, like sweaty or something. I don't know. But I found them, and they had taught me a lot about the game. They kind of just got me to where I am now.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I played against Weather M1 before. He's really good.
Yeah, he is.
And so I guess, over the years, you played a lot of people, man. What were some notable grudge matches that you had over the years that you can remember, like against people that probably like got on your nerves, or they were just like being a dick to you for no reason, or like what were some grudge matches that you had to finish somebody off in?
Yeah, man, there were a lot of people, over the time that was going to sound pretty corny, but it almost felt like I just had a bunch of rivalries back in the day. I used to be a very, very, very strict, I was a 1v1 purist back in the day.
Okay.
But for a good portion of me playing the game, like if you double team without like us saying let's double team, it got me really pissed off. And I immediately was just on site with you. There are a lot of people that I used to be beefing with that I'm cool with now, like back in the day. I'm on site with him. I grabbed one of my best friends right now. He's got a YouTube channel too. Shout out Kinky Diamond. You know.
Oh yeah, I know about Kinky. Great master, man.
Yeah, back in the day, bro. Man, let me tell you, are you familiar with the Eyes of Heaven tournaments?
Oh yeah. Which ones? The Call of Duty ones?
Discord, yeah.
Yeah, I know about those.
Hold on one second. Hold on one second, I'll be right
Okay.
back. Often, but whenever they were going on, COD player, you know, the host would have them in parties, right?
Right.
And I remember it was like so bad between me and him whenever we first met. Every single time, like the first couple of tournaments, I couldn't even join because he instantly get in the party and he had me blocked, so I just could never get into him.
Wow.
Yeah. Eventually, we had put our differences aside. We're good friends now, but back in the day, it was crazy. There's like three more notable people I really want to mention. Two of them I already talked with you earlier. It's just the ranked farmers, man. I literally can't stand them.
Oh yeah, we're definitely gonna talk about
EOH, like, bro. Those people got me pissed back in the day, bro.
Yeah.
And then the ones on top too, just some of the other ones on top. It's like people who don't get their ranked points like officially, they always get me really mad because you know I am kind of friends with Rocket Snickers a little.
Yeah,
Right?
that's my brother.
Like originally we were good pals before he got off the PlayStation a lot, right? And that was one thing is like I understand how good he was at the game, and it always got me pissed seeing all those people taking his rightful spot at the top,
Right.
because they just farmed over him. Always got me mad. Let me see. There was one other person. Oh yeah, Hail Senpai.
I just found out about Halo. I just found out about it.
Yeah, frankly, out of all of the people that I've had beef with, me and him are probably like the most competitive with each other. Like to this day, like in almost every single tournament, every single time we even see each other online, it's like just boom, like right there. Like we just doing like 20 sets to see who's win. They got bragging rights for like the next month, and then we just go ghost again until we find each other randomly.
Yeah, that's how you're supposed to do it, man. I remember having grudge matches and doing like 20, 30 game tests for people, man.
Yeah, man. That's how it is with me and him. It's just every single time we see each other, it's just on site until one of us got to get off.
That's what's up, man. It keeps the competitive blood boiling, man, for all the players, you know. But I guess the next question kind of leads into what you was talking about earlier about the BP farmers and all that. What were your original goals when you first started playing Eyes of Heaven? Did you care about the leaderboard? Did you want to be on the leaderboard, or did you just want to be known as the best player with a specific character? Like, what was it?
Was it you were breaking out a bit, but I'm guessing you're talking about like the rank leaderboard. And honestly, like as far as back then, I just really played the game. Really, it was like I didn't really get any like a goal until the tournaments had started. And even then, my only real goal as far as the tournaments is originally whenever the tournaments had started, I had played like the first couple ones, like trying so hard to win. I won the first couple ones, right? Then there was one I went in there as a Joshua. And I was like, well, I might as well play Yoshio. He's not a good character, but it's got they got losers rounds too. So after I win, I can just try after that, right? And then I won the whole tournament as Yoshio, and then that gave me an idea where I was just like, you know what? For every single tournament up until I guess recently, I was just gonna try and like maintain my record playing whoever I want to play without ever actually losing. Thankfully, I'm able to maintain it. I guess that was kind of an exception for this one time. I had to leave before the tournament started whenever I signed up. Other than that, every time I've entered a tournament, I've like never lost, and I'll just try to keep up that record. But as far as the ranked leaderboards, I never really cared about them because I knew from the start most of the people at the top were already scamming. And it's just finding rank matches is hard, dude. You gotta sit in there sometimes for like 30 minutes to get one game with some dude who never even played rank before and has 0 BP, so you're not even getting anything. It's too much hassle for a number that other people are grinding anyway, so what's the point?
Yeah, that was kind of like one of the reasons I stopped, man. Stopped playing rank. I don't know, we're just slowing down, man. Like I would get on like at 8 o'clock in the morning and just be sitting on matchmaking like the entire day, and just whoever hopped in there was just like, all right, fuck it, I'm playing.
Oh yeah, and not even to mention, bro, those ranked farmers. Literally, whenever I would be trying to play ranked, and that's what really kept me from playing ranked at all. Because almost every single time I got on ranked, it will be a ranked farmer. They see your matches, they see your BP, instant kick.
So tell us about DO69, bro. Because I know he was like the original.
Just bring him up. I was about to just bring him up. Whenever I was saying that instant kick, and I was saying DO69 took it a level farther. Saying, I played this game like a whole lot. I don't even know what my matches are right now. It's like I'm getting to a lot of them. You know, the only person I know with more matches than me is Alone Weekly. I think he's almost at 10K if he hasn't passed that. But I have like 7 or 8K, something like that right now.
Okay.
I'm sick of talking. But Alone Weekly, or not Alone Weekly, DO69, he saw my matches, right? I readied up in the lobby. I had heard so much about this dude. I was like, yeah, man, I know how garbage this dude is. I'm going to destroy him, dude. And then, box. I've never gotten in a lobby with him since. It's been like 3 years. And I still hear about him. He saw my matches and like my BP, and he literally blocked me. I like have never been able to fight him once yet. I've heard about him the most out of every single person.
I've had the opportunity of playing him twice. He's real interesting, bro. I'll put it like that.
Yeah, man, I heard so much about playing. Because here's the real kicker. I went and got on my alt account that has barely 1,000 matches, and probably even less at that time, probably like 500. I still got kicked, probably because my win-loss was like 500 to 80. Yeah, I literally hopped on my alt account, and I was same thing. I couldn't even fight him. I've never even gotten to fight the dude before, but I've heard so much about him. It's just
his playstyle was real interesting, bro. It was like a real unique playstyle, man. It was I can't even like really describe it. It was just an experience, bro. It was just, you just had to play it.
Well, it would have been one thing, I guess, at least fighting him, because you look at people like Ruka, both of them on there, or they don't even fight people, bro. Like, how are you finna hop on here and every single person you even come in contact with, you just leave? Like, it like takes the fun out of the entire thing. Like, what are you even doing?
Yeah, man. Like Ruka is definitely a DO69 descendant, man. Like, you can just see the family tree, man. I guess it started with DO69, and Ruka kind of picked it up, and now we have guys like Cool Clown and a couple others that are doing the whole farming thing. It's
I had
crazy.
just checked the leaderboard. I didn't even know this dude was on the top right now.
Yeah,
Yeah, man. Actually, hold on. There is something I want to talk with you personally about something that happened in the past. It's like, I remember it was I think like the only time I like ever fought you, I was playing Johnny on Air Suplina, and you were at the top with Kakuni.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
You got me a little heated because I lost to timeout. And then you put me on a YouTube video about, I was like, you know what, man? He ain't even talking trash. You in the comments talking about we gonna fight against someday. It's whatever, man. It's just we playing the game, right?
Yeah.
But see, I had this old friend named Cloud who was in the comments talking crap and using my name. I literally went in this dude's DMs talking about, bro, how are you gonna like bring my name into this whenever I wasn't even gonna say anything to do? And now you making me look bad for like no reason because he stays doing that.
Yeah, I had my own issue with Cloud, bro. He's kind of weird, man. Yeah, but I was telling him like, nah, Rock. I mean, Papyrus is good, bro. It was a great match. I was giving you the props on it, but he was kind of like trying to take it into another direction. I was like, bro.
He is a little extra. I was saying, like, I was not involved with that. I did not tell him to say that. I just wanted to get that out there.
No, it's all
I don't care what people think about me, but yeah, it's like, you know. Alright, but yeah.
But yeah, man. So we talked about the all the farmers and stuff like that. I guess the next question, what is something that you would want to be remembered by as a player, man? Like, what was something that you feel that you brought to the game that you would like to be remembered by?
Consistency. I feel like, because here's the thing, a lot of people, and I mean a lot of people, I'm talking about
That boy
5 plus, have came to me. What is it? Random people, like I don't even know them. Probably the only one that you would know is probably like Gianni-kun.
Oh,
Who
yeah.
remember me exactly by name and came to me within like probably like the last 5 months talking about what is it? Hell yeah, man. It's like back in the day whenever I had fought you, I only had like 100 matches and you fucking over here like taking entire bars off of my HP and stuff and sweating on me. I don't even know how to play the game. I was like, yeah, man, it's just like I was just trying to improve and I was like, I mean to sweat on you. He was like, nah, man. So what I'm trying to tell you is that you made me want to learn how to play the game.
Yeah.
Was it? I wouldn't be at this level that I am right now if you didn't sweat on me back then. You know what I'm saying? But it's whatever now, it's on site now. But back then, if it wasn't for you going hard on me whenever I didn't know anything about the game and showing me all that stuff, I wouldn't know anything.
Yep.
And I was like, dang, man, it's like that many people I was randomly try-harding on when I didn't know how to play the game and it affected. That was crazy, man. I didn't think that I even like have an impact from just playing the game like that, and it kind of made me proud a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the thing is, that's what I want to be remembered for. Is that some people get pissed off at it, but I want to be remembered for consistently. Is consistency. I consistently always give it my peak, and unless we're messing around, you're finna get the peak performance every single time. Every single time you're getting the show, I bring the show with me. You get the full experience.
He brings the show. Hell yeah, man. The full Grand Papyrus. The golden Papyrus experience, I guess. But yeah, man. Thanks a lot for doing this interview and speaking on your experience with the game and all that. I'm gonna try to get a couple other people on here too, like maybe.
Another legend, Papyrus is by far the most consistent on As a Heaven. Like he said, he's gonna bring it every time. Our next interview finds us on the inside of an extravagant yacht on a marina near Morio. The main room is filled with exotic starfish and records of the fastest rage quits on the walls. This is the yacht of the most controversial and possibly most hated player in Eyes of Heaven history, Ruka, the Jotaro main that farmed his spot to the number one position in 2020 and held that spot for nearly a year. We talk with him to discuss his controversial behavior and his overall take on the game. First question, I guess, what inspired you to play Eyes of Heaven? What made you interested in the game?
I got interested in Eyes of Heaven back in 2015 in Japan, while in America, 2016. So I got interested because I always wanted to play what George was like in the game, and then Jolene.
Okay. So you started off manning Jotaro. What made you main Jotaro? Was he just your favorite character, or do you have like a special connection to Jotaro? What is it?
I first noticed Jotaro since during my childhood when I read Shonen Jump magazine, and then I started to notice him. He was very strong during part 3, so I decided to collect the early manga books as far as Crusaders and video games, because I always end up playing Jotaro a lot because he's my favorite character. He's my hero.
Okay. Okay. So when you first started Eyes of Heaven, you know, you wanted to become the number 1 on the leaderboard, right? That was your initial goal?
It was my original goal.
Okay, so tell us about the grind, man. Like, how was it for you? Was it like once you got to the top, like how did it feel for you? Describe that moment for the people.
Okay, when I was first become number 1, it wasn't enough, so I decided to make sure I have no losses and reach the number 1 goal that no other player did before, having all 8 stars while becoming number 1.
Okay. Oh, yeah, it's been a while for me too.
Yeah.
But, okay, so I guess this is like the follow-up from the last interview.
Okay.
I remember you were saying that you made Jotaro. So how important was I guess rivalries to you, and how would you say manning Jotaro, did that help you with the rivalries or in certain matches, or did you feel like it was kind of a challenge?
I felt like it's like a challenge when I use Jotaro a lot.
Okay, and why is that?
Because I always know Jotaro since I was a kid, and I always played Jotaro when I played the game Heritage to the Future, which is my all-time favorite game, because I always end up using Jotaro a lot because he's faster and stronger. Even to this game, Eyes of Heaven, still fast and stronger.
Right. So, I guess, okay. So Jotaro is really powerful in this game. What were some of your favorite matches that you've done with Jotaro?
I have 2 favorites. The first is Cairo, which is my all-time favorite for every JoJo game / manga / anime. The second is Still Ocean of NASA's rocket.
Oh yeah, Cape Canaveral, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so a while ago, it was this guy named Curly-Headed Black. You remember him, or Blackie on?
Yeah. Yes, I still remember him.
Yeah, so you did a match with him before, and I guess he tried to, like, quote-unquote expose you in the video or something like that, but you were doing pretty good in the match from what I was seeing. Can you take us through that match? Do you remember that match, and can you describe how that was for the fans?
The first time I battled him, I gotta admit, he was pretty good. I was getting good until I a little bit hesitate when I almost about to lose, so I had no choice but escape. But I'm surprised Curly of all people know my identity before anyone else.
Yeah, man, it was a big secret for a while, man. You know, it was.
Yep.
Yeah, man, very elusive, you know. So it kind of leads to the next question. How important was farming to you? Was it really important? Like, what were your real goals when you decided to farm? Like, how important was that to you?
Wait, what?
I said, how important was farming to you? Like, did you have any like goals? Like when you wanted to do it, did you have any goals as far as reaching the top?
Okay. My original goal was to be the best player, but in reality, I'm not really that best because I'm not really that good at games that easily. So I just find other ways to get on top without anyone noticing at first. But I decided to play around like other people to get to the top. But until I got banned on my second account, so I had no choice but to start over by scratch, go to the third account, and face my brother, which he has spare time to battle me to get to the top as possible. And then I'm making some few friends, and eventually I met you, which you try to figure out my identity and my goals. But you're very close though. But if it were Curly, he will know it was me in the instant because once I have 0 losses, he knows his B.
Yeah, that was a pretty obvious giveaway. The 2,000 something wins and 0 losses.
Yep.
Which kind of leads to the next question. There's a rumor going around that you actually lost your first match to a girl.
Yes, it's true.
Oh, it's actually true. So tell us about that experience. Like, how did that happen? Like,
Well, one of my friends do remember talking to me that I make a saw a foul, I will lose to a real girl, like an actual real girl in a JoJo game. Somehow they managed to find one, so I found her for the first time. She just a newbie, but I gotta admit, she does have a little skills.
okay.
I managed to beat her. I managed to beat her the first round, but around the second round, I finally decided to lose for once, which I did. But they forgot my other promise. Once I do lose, I officially retire at JoJo game forever.
Oh yeah, man, that was an interesting situation. I guess okay, so you have all 8 stars on the player card, man. Like, what does having 8 stars mean to you? Because I know it doesn't like give you any type of superpowers or anything. It doesn't give you Requiem. So like, what does the 8 star mean to Ruka?
What did A-Star be to me? Well, the thing is, ever since I've been playing Ice of Heaven for quite some time, I always wondered why there is no A-Star. So I try to find my way to find anyone who has A-Stars within America, but nothing. So I found out outside the America for the EU, someone has A-Stars that has JoJo on it with stuff.
That was
So I decided to,
King Crimson, right? Emperor Crimson?
yep.
Yeah.
Yep. He wasn't the original person I managed to find out about. It was someone else before I met him, before my next account. So I decided to save the picture and send it to my other self, my first account, just in case if anything happens to me. So when I make my third account, I decided to get all 8 stars to see how it is. My original goal is to get all 8 stars for myself, but I decided to let everyone see my 8 stars so everyone else can get 8 stars. So they can be all number 1 they want. I'll be the first person who has the 8 stars until someone take my spot.
Okay, I see. Interesting. So, I guess, how do you feel about the Eyes of Heaven community in general? Like, do you feel, or do you care about the haters, or do you care about the haters in the Eyes of Heaven community? Because there's a lot of people that I guess would say they don't like you necessarily for your tactics, but you know, I would say everybody plays the game their own way. But how do you feel about the haters in the Eyes of Heaven community?
Let's see. When I first discovered people who hated me in the community, somehow it gives me excited to the point I want them to hate me. That way everyone can recognize me all over the internet. So they can talk about all the bad stuff about me and find me, expose me, try to make me to lose. But somehow I gain a lot of people on the positive side to the point some of them became my protege and know everything about me. And there are a lot of people who wants to meet me, but I refused at that time because I had to reach my goal back then.
Right. Like the goal was important, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So, okay, so how do you feel? I guess we know how you feel about the haters, but how do you feel about the Eyes of Heaven community in general? Like, how has your experience been with the community overall?
I kind of like it. I can see people's comments, see what they talk about, especially the hates, the likes, especially other anime news related. But I was still kind of sad that the community is gone. Because without it, it's just the same.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
Guess lastly, what would you want to be remembered for on Eyes of Heaven? What would you want your legacy to be?
I want my legacy that everyone to have fun in the game. Everything is still possible to reach to the top. But at the end of the day, it'll be someone else's turn to become number one until the end of time. Until the next JoJo game, someone else will be number one, which I doubt I'll be number one in the new game because it's not going to be easy.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty hard. It's going to be pretty hard to actually get up the leaderboard, man. It's going to be a pretty good challenge.
Yep, super hard.
Yeah. But all right, that's Ruka, everybody. Thanks a lot, man, for doing the interview and being a part of this legendary documentary.
You're welcome, Ulu.
Himself. Lastly, our final destination brings us to a secluded island. The moonlit sky shines brightly onto a terrace overlooking the island. A man stands at the top of the terrace. As I look around, I see that many players have fallen on this island. The man on the terrace stood there in excellence. He is known as the greatest Kakuin player and the final player to reach number one legitimately on Eyes of Heaven. A player that has created such a name for himself that he's cultivated his own base of dedicated fans and took Eyes of Heaven to new heights, provided us with some of its most legendary moments. He's your friend and he's mine too. The heart of the Eyes of Heaven community, the final Lord of Heaven, Doughboy. But so I'm just going to roll right in with the first question here. How did you find out about Eyes of Heaven?
Well, man, I was really just a big fan of the anime, really, and one day I just decided, let me check and see if there's actually any JoJo games to actually play. And, I just went into the PlayStation store and I saw Eyes of Heaven there, and I was like, okay, it's like a real interesting game to play. It's like my type of arena fighter type of game. You know, you have a nice size stage, a good character list, over like what 50 characters or something like that, and you know, a pretty good move set. So that's pretty much how I found out about the game, just out of my own curiosity.
Just pure curiosity. I think that's how most people found it, because with me, I didn't know that there was a JoJo game for the longest time ever.
Yeah.
But not to dally. Moving on to the next question. You're known for meeting Kakyoin, who, I mean, he's not a bad character. I think he's a pretty good character, but he's not the strongest character. Why did you pick Kakyoin of all the characters? Why Kakyoin?
Well, for one, I have my own like personal relation with Kakyoin. I think whenever you decide to main a character, you want to have something that you can relate to with that character, you know. And for me, you know, Kakyoin, growing up, he was a loner. You know, he was always by himself.
Yeah, he was a loner.
You know what I mean? And that's kind of like how I am and how I was when I was younger. So I could relate to Kakyoin.
Oh, so there's that connection on a personal level.
Yeah, that too.
Okay.
And then it's like personality-wise, you know, like when Kakyoin first got introduced into the anime, you know, he was a bad guy. And it kind of ties up into like who I am as a player and like my Eyes of Heaven journey. How I started off as the bad guy, you know, and then I slowly turned into the good guy. But you know, we'll get into that in a few. But I guess the main reason I really made Kakyoin was just out of my own personal relations to what he was going through, and you know, I can relate to that. And then just his own personality, man. Kakyoin is a cool guy, man. And then
Kakyoin is a pretty cool character.
Yeah, man. He was
for him,
real
the Crusaders wouldn't be here.
And then also just on the game, like I know he's not necessarily, like you said, like the strongest character. He doesn't have a lot of HP. He gets heavy chunks of HP taken off whenever he's hit. His move sets don't do a lot of damage. You have to like really take your time and like build up, you know, combos and actual strategies to actually do any real damage, you know. But he's fun to play with. What he lacks in, you know, I guess pure power and health, he makes up for in maneuverability and tactfulness and just his ability to zone. I always say like Kakyoin is the best zoning character in the game, you know.
Oh, definitely, especially with the amount of ranged attacks, being able to trap things from across the map. I mean, Kakyoin is... Narancia comes close, but I mean, Aerosmith, the stamina bar. So I would agree with you there. I'd say that Kakyoin is probably the best for zoning.
Yeah, man. Then the traps. You gotta love the traps, you know. Just all the slick traps you can set up.
I'm an AU Diego main, bro. You know I love traps.
Hell yeah, man.
But you're okay. The early days of Eyes of Heaven, as one of the new generation of Eyes of Heaven players, I'm excited about this question. Can you tell us about some of your early days in Eyes of Heaven and what were your goals?
Oh man, the early days of Eyes of Heaven. You know, for me, that was be like late 2018, early 2019, somewhere around that time. You know, I was just getting started playing Eyes of Heaven, and you know, I was lucky to be trained by one of the best players on the game of all time, Rocket Snickers. He was actually the first person I ever played on the game, and you know, during those days, he was the number one player. So I actually got trained by the number one player, you know, in the 2018, 2019 era. You know what I mean? So
pretty sweet deal there.
Yeah, it was real cool, real honored to have that happen. But
who did Rocket main?
He made Drono, but
Drono, really?
Yeah, he was really good with Drono, bro. Definitely like the top Drono player of all time.
The whole world, you'd say, even over in Japan?
Yeah, bro. Rocket is a monster, bro. Rocket is a monster, bro. I know I got a lot of friends in Japan, but yeah, Rocket is good, bro.
I'll take your word for it.
But yeah, I got trained by him, and you know, the early days, I would do a lot of free battles trying to get my character skills up, because I would do online battles and I would find myself losing a lot because, I didn't understand necessarily the mechanics of the game, how certain things work, move sets, what characters were vulnerable. Yeah, I figured, if I go to free battle and just practice around with my calculating, I can learn something to really refine my skills,
And free battle just has so much more freedom. I mean, you're not going up against God's prostitute over here who has 4,000 wins and 600 losses. He mains Phantom Blood Dio. He runs across the map at 300 kilometers an hour, and you don't see him coming. And then when you do land a hit on him, he perfect blocks you and turns you to ice. You can set the playing field to how you want, and that's kind of how I learned the game a bit too. How I got my feel for it. I did a lot of free battle.
Yeah, man, free battle is
definitely good.
That's
when I still run into a few new players. I was actually playing one earlier. I was telling them, go into free battle, set the comms to very hard, and it's because they're not very hard. They're not really that hard, but you go against them and you learn, and then next thing you know, you're in public matches and you're just dominating.
Yeah, man. Yeah, so, that's pretty much what I did. I just went to free battle and refined my skills until I felt I was good enough to hop back online. And once I got back online, man, I noticed a major difference in my capabilities and what I can do with Kakyoin. And I just kept refining after win after win after win. And, now it's like my win-to-loss ratio is so crazy, bro. Like, it really reflects the grind, But the early days were fun, man. The early days were fun. It wasn't, I'm going to say this, it wasn't a lot of farmers, the community was more tight-knit, it was a good time. The leaderboard was way more legitimate than what it is now.
Instead of people like Clown and Ruka and Clown Circus Buddies who are just, they leave games that they lose and, they just farm rank points.
Yeah.
Back then it was like people actually playing the game, grinding right.
Right. Like the only farmer that we had was like Dio69. Like I think he was like the originator. He was the original farmer before Ruka. But at least Dio69, he actually played people, you know what I mean? Like he actually played full matches with people, even though he would rage quit half the matches. But like, I'll give him that. At least he actually played it. Ruka's probably going to be in the match with you for like 10 seconds and then leave. But, it was more tight-knit back in those days, man. We had the PS4 community also back then, which had like 10,000 members.
I'm not sure why they removed communities. I mean, the communities were awesome. I met so many great people there.
Yeah, you meet so many people. I think
everyone did.
Yeah, man. They definitely need to bring those back.
Yeah, I mean, maybe one day. All right. So, what were some of the most notable, some of the most hyped up grudge matches that you've had in the past on Eyes of Heaven?
Oh my God, there's so many of them, man. It's a lot. It's honestly so many. We can run down, but I'll name a few of them. Okay.
Yeah, save the best for last.
All right. So I guess I'll start off with I guess one of my more notable ones was my war with the main Discord in the Eyes of Heaven. And we later on, we pretty much squashed the beef. It got squashed later on down the line. But, like, initially it was real tension. And I guess the tension was really just, a misconception and just misinformation about me because of another player. I guess it all started with my beef with Curly Head Black. That's his name, or Blackie on, however you want to, whatever you know him by. Like,
he was another Kakyoin main.
Yeah, he was, at that time, he was pretty much, everybody was calling him the best Kakyoin player next to this other guy named Raccoon. But
also there was two other Kakyoin mains that you had to beat to become the number one Kakyoin.
Yeah, it was two other Kakyoin mains I had to beat to get that title.
Backstory here.
But pretty much I had already beaten Raccoon, man, in a 30-match set, man. It was a grueling 30-match set. and I won that whole set. I didn't win every match in the set, of course, but like the majority of the matches I got, yeah,
Majority.
But you know, Raccoon taught me a lot playing him. And then when I fought Curly, you know, we did 3 matches. I beat him 3-0. And I went to go play a 2v2 with my friends, and you know, next thing I know, Curly is in the Discord talking crazy, and in the PS4 community talking crazy about me. You know, so and just pretty much just putting a bad taste about me in everybody's mouths in the Discord that hadn't met me yet. You know what I mean? So by the time I actually got to the Discord, you know, it was like, oh, Doughboy is this bad player. I mean, he's just like a toxic player, bro. He's so bad. He's just all he does is camp out on Air Suplina. You know?
Well, yeah, you know, all they had to go off of was what Curly said.
Yeah, bro. Like he was writing like college style essays. Like it wasn't just Curly. It was a few people like that got it started, bro. But Curly was like the main one.
Essay.
Yeah, bro. It was crazy. Like, are you guys getting a grade for this or something? Like, I don't know what's going on. But...
Grade 12 essay on why Doughboy is bad by Curly Head.
So, yeah, man. So when I joined the Discord, I had a lot of their top people, the top guys in that Discord, trying to take my head off, man. You know what I mean? We had, you had guys like Call of Duty player, you know, who was one of the main moderators, man. He challenged me to a match. Actually, it was supposed to have been a 5-match set. We only got to do 3, and I'll explain why. The first 2 matches he won because I didn't use Capcom, you know what I mean? I used 2 characters that I wasn't really too good with just to test his skills out. That's kind of like a thing that I do. I like to call it baiting my opponent, you know, just getting a good read on my opponent before I actually bring Capcom out. Mm-hmm. And what that does is it pretty much allows you to see your opponent's mannerisms, their things that they do often, like what are their faults in the game, like what are their habits. You know, it gives you a good read of your opponent, so you know exactly what they do in the game. So by the time I brought my Capcom out in that 3rd match,
you had to know how he played, but he didn't know how your Capcom played.
Exactly.
Okay,
because he was an Okuyasu
that's
main.
smart.
You know, he mained Okuyasu, and like he just kept using Okuyasu the whole time. And I'm using characters that I don't even use. You know. So he's just thinking like, oh yeah, Doughboy is trash. He hops back in the disco like, yeah, bro, I'm whooping Doughboy's ass, bro. I'm crushing him. He's so bad at this game. I'm like, bro, I haven't even started yet, bro. I'm just toying with you. This is like a mind game for me, bro. Look, like you have no clue.
I play
so
chess.
Like, okay, I'm bringing Capcom out now. So I bring Capcom out, and he doesn't even knock a bar off me, bro. Not even a single bar. He goes back into the Discord. Ends our little set prematurely. You know, remember we had like 2 more matches we were supposed to do. So he ends the set and goes back into the Discord and it's like, oh yeah, man, I beat Doughboy. He never beat me. Yeah, blah blah blah, and this, that, and the third. And I'm just like, oh really? So you wouldn't necessarily mind if I dropped this screenshot here in the chat? Or maybe I should have just uploaded the video. A lot more justice, man. A lot more justice than, you know, make the screenshot.
Got exposed.
Then he bans me. You know, he bans me from the Discord, so I couldn't post it. But then I made an alt account and just posted it anyway, and everybody seen it. And he gets banned from the Discord. He loses his moderator position. And yeah,
I mean, I don't know if you know, but I can tell you he is moderator again. He's
back good again.
now.
Wow. See, this is why the Discord is so clowned out, and it's kind of like it's just guys like that just can't take an L, bro. It's like his pride was so hurt by a guy that he just heard so much bad things about. But it's like, bro, if you really would have took the time to actually get to know me, you would have seen I'm not really a bad guy. You know what I mean? You were just going off of what somebody else had to say. But it's cool. He had to learn, bro.
On this game, you are probably the most chill and definitely one of the most fun people to play this game with. Of all the people that I've played,
Yeah, and you know what? I kind of want to like touch on that a little bit more because I know I stated earlier, like I started off as the villain, you know, just like Catherine did. I started off as the villain because I guess I was trying to make a name for myself, bro. I was just really trying to make a name for myself as the best Catherine player on the Eyes of Heaven, and I think that rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. I don't know, the trash talking and, you know, just the Catherine memes and, and all. I might have went a little too overboard with it, but, you know, I think the point ultimately got across to everybody, you know, when I took down all the top guys in the Discord, man, that were talking trash about me.
Everything in the end did go your way, and
yeah, man. I'm sorry to take so long on that one. I know we got like two more, like top beasts or whatever, but that one was probably like a real significant one because you know it's the main Discord, bro. It kind of took a lot of credibility away.
Everyone.
You know, but like I said, we squashed it. Like me and the top guys, we ended up talking it out and just squashing the beef, bro. Because it was stupid to begin with. Like, you know, it was all because of a misunderstanding, really. You know, so
yeah, there really is never any point to having beef. I mean,
yeah. Now there are some guys in the community that are you just outright have to destroy, man. Like, point example.
Pardon me.
Point example. The guy named Eternal Chub have, man, and his partner Big Fistus. I'm not sure if you heard of them or not, but
don't think so.
they were around 2020. They were a very toxic duo. Actually, they were a trio. They had a friend named Nink's Milk who would fill in to help them out. They were a trio in the 2v2s. Basically, what they would do is, not to mention they were very racist and homophobic guys, just all out weirdos, man. But what they would do is they would hop into people's sessions, you know, and or they would have a session, and you would hop in, and it'll be Big Fistus and Eternal Chub Half and Nink's Milk sitting in there, and then you'll join, and you know they'll put Nink's Milk on your team for a specific reason, because his only goal in the match was not to help you like he should as your partner. His goal was literally to sit in the corner of the Joestar Mansion, which was the only stage they played on because of the cramped space, while they used cars and Valentine and do a whole bunch of toxic shit. But yeah, his goal was to only just stand in the corner, no dual combos when you needed them, like no assisting, none of that, bro. Like no DHAs, nothing. And yeah, it was just a all right setup, man. It was a whole setup. So I figured I wanted to expose these guys, man, because they were just being so rude to me the entire time, bro. And I'm just like trying to play the game, man. You know, it was just so
sucking all the fun out of it.
Yeah, bro, it was just so unnecessary, man. Then just the whole, like I said, just being in voice chat with them and just the whole rants and arguing, going back and forth with them, it was just so toxic. So I was like, you know what? I want to see you one-on-one. The first one I played, Eternal Chub Half, who was, I would say, the better of the two. But I played him, and I would say it was a close match, but the way that I ended that match was so epic, bro. Like, and I'll have a clip of it pretty much as I'm talking, like in the documentary. I'll have like a cool clip of it or whatever. You know what I mean? But just a note, just a side note. I couldn't upload the clip to this documentary because it's saved on my PlayStation 4. I'm using my PlayStation 5 to make this documentary. So it would have been really hard for me to actually transfer that clip from the PS4 to my PlayStation 5 in order to add it. But, however, that clip, that whole entire fight that I'm speaking about, is the first video on my YouTube page, so you guys can all go check it out and see for yourselves what happened. Now, yeah, back to the interview. It's so epic because they'll see in the clip like exactly how I pulled this victory off, bro. Like it's insane, and it's just one of the dopest wins ever that I've accomplished. And I guess
How did you end it, if you don't mind me asking? Not to spoil anything.
pretty much he had knocked me down. We were both of our healths were like literally at the lowest. Like I was within
The little sliver?
within a sliver. Like if he bumped into me, he probably would have KO'd me. Like that's how close it was.
That health where if he sneezed on you, you'd die.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm on the ground, right, and he's playing Jotaro. And I'm using my captain. I'm on the ground, and he uses Jotaro's L1X. You know, that's when he sends Star Platinum out to smash you on the ground, right?
Ground pound, yeah.
So it's like Catherine hit the wake up at the right moment. Like, bro, I timed it so perfect. Like, I timed the wake up so perfect and dodged to the right. And it was like, I think I hit him with like the tentacles or something and wrapped him up and tried to like hit my DHA on him. But he had like the flash cancel, like the flash burst thing, and like busted out of it, knocked me back, right? So I guess he thought he had it won at that point, you know. So he tried to just recklessly charge me, not knowing that I had a second DHA up my sleeve, and you know, he like tried to kick me or whatever. Like he did like Jotaro's like charge, where he just charges at you and then he tried to like kick me or whatever. But I just hit the DHA at the perfect time, and then just like the kick landed right into the cat going DHA shot. It was just over, man. Just 100 shot in those flash, man.
Wow.
20 meter radius everywhere, bro. 20 meter radius.
That really is the perfect finisher.
Yeah, just getting ping
One health
pong all
each
over
out
the
will
place.
splash for the win. Wow.
Yeah, man. That was
All right.
and I guess the last
Oh, sorry. Before we get to the last one, just quickly, 1 second. And all right, we're on the last one. You said.
yeah, I guess my last biggest grudge match that I had, I guess the most popular grudge match in Eyes of Heaven history would probably be me versus Ruka. That would probably be
Ruka.
Yeah, that would probably be the biggest one. I mean, I think competitively, competition-wise, Iron Zippy probably gave me the most run for my money, like competition-wise. But Ruka, I would say Ruka is my biggest like rivalry because just off the hype that it created in the community, like everybody was talking about it. It was like such a thing, like Doughboy trying to dethrone Ruka, like they're going back and forth, like Ruka mains Jotaro, Doughboy mains Kakyoin, bro. This is like canon. This shit is like hilarious. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Oh yeah, true. Because Jotaro and Kakyoin had that fight in the beginning of Stardust Crusaders.
yeah. And we would always take like memes from that episode, that exact episode, and being like the PS4 community just going at it with like the memes and stuff. Like bro, it would be crazy. It was like, bro, we would recite like all the quotes and everything, man. Like, bro. So, me and Ruka, we had a lot of matches, man. Me and Ruka had a lot of matches, and one thing I can say about Ruka, even though he does rage quit, man, he rage quits within like the first 10, 15 seconds if you're beating him too bad. He does do that, but you know what? He has improved a lot. I can't say that, you know, since the first time I played him. He has improved a lot, you know. And his overall play style, the way he uses Jotaro, man, is just an experience. Like, playing my Kakyoin is an experience that you just can't describe. You just have to experience it. And I can say the same thing about his Jotaro, but it's just like his is just different, bro. It's like he plays in like this real trollish, like hide and go seek style, bro. Like, you know what I mean?
Hide and go seek.
Yeah, bro. It's hilarious. Like it's like he's playing peekaboo with you like the whole time, bro. It's like a child's game, bro. But like he does it so effectively, like that you won't notice that he's slowly shaving so much of your health down to the point, like, oh shit, I'm at the red bar. Like I've seen him knock people not guys that have claimed to be better than him or claim to be like top players. You know, Curly, I won't say any other names, but Curly is one of them.
Really? Okay.
He tried to expose Ruka. Well, he was the first person to expose Ruka, really, but in the video, Ruka almost beat him. You know what I mean? If you really pay attention, like, to how Ruka's playing him, Ruka's really outsmarting him the whole match. Like, he's throwing vases at him. They're playing at the El Cairo stage. Ruka's hiding behind shit and throwing vases at him and only popping out when he needs to pop out. They hit him with the Aura and Starfinger and then dip off. You know what I mean? He's playing so tactical with him, bro. Like, you can't help but, like, any real player of the game, like, you know what I mean? Like, even though he rage quit, like, you have to give that some type of credit, bro. Like, he almost beat this man. Like, he's actually being, like, a problem for this guy. You know what I mean? And he claims to be a top player.
Even with the fact that he rage quits and all that, even you have to admit, when you see someone with skill, they're still skilled, even though he's still kind of a clown, you know.
Yeah, he's still a clown.
I think he'll always be a clown.
Yeah, always.
BP farmers are not it, man. Ruin the game.
Not at all, bro. That's one thing I've always prided myself in my rank journey, like, and that's kind of like why I wanted to document my rank journey on YouTube, you know, because I think once everybody saw that, you know, it added to my legitimacy a lot more. Because I know, like, bro, I was coming up, when I started doing rank, like, my rank grind to number 1 took me, like, 10 months, bro. Like, you know what I mean? And, like, that whole time, like, it was Ruka at the top, like, you know what I mean? Like, he was literally, like, the number 1 player for, like, a whole year straight. And it's like, bro, I was so determined to take him down from that number 1 spot and be the first guy to actually dethrone Ruka, you know, and that was a major moment for the community, man. Like, and just, now we just have so many battle point farmers, man.
You'd say that's the fight of your Eyes of Heaven career where you dethroned Ruka.
Yeah, bro, I think that was, like, my biggest moment, bro. Like, because nobody else had done it, bro. Everybody was trying to do it. It was so many guys that were struggling trying to pull that off and just gave up on it because it was like they thought it was impossible, bro. Because he would just keep going up BP after BP. It was like he would have like 2 million, and it's like, oh my God. And it's like, what is he at now? And it's like, no, first it was like 1.5 million. Then it was like, oh, okay, now I got to get like 1.5 mil. Now he's like at 1.7 mil. Now I got to get 1.7 mil. Now he's at like 2 mil. Now I got to get up to, like, you know what I mean? And then he was like,
right now he's at 3 mil.
Yeah, bro. And then it was a point where I finally, like, got over that. And it was a big moment for me personally, because it was, like I said, it was a 10-month journey, you know, that I did, man, just playing a bunch of guys on ranked. And even then, like, I know a lot of people will say it's ranked is hard because not a lot of people that play ranked with it. In my experience, you know, it's based on the amount of time that you dedicate to the game. Like, I was getting on the game, like, at 8 o'clock in the morning, you know, just sitting in matchmaking all day long, just playing different people, whoever hopped in my session. And, you know, whether I won or lost, you know, I just tried to, most of them I won, but, like, I tried to, you know, just give it my best performance, man, and, you know, just go give it my all.
You fought the good fight, and I mean, it worked. You dethroned Ruka. You got the first place. For a good chunk of time, you're the best player in North America. Best CAC point in North America. I mean,
the whole 2021.
Certainly, that's just a round of applause right there.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that was a big feature because I got noticed by a lot of guys outside of the North American scene, like guys over in Europe, you know, and Japan, like guys like Gotti in Japan, and you know, Gurkarov and a couple others over there in Europe, and bro, it's crazy. Even like the South American scene, bro. Like the South American scene is pretty big on Eyes of Heaven. A lot of people probably don't really give them a lot of credit, but like they have a pretty good scene over there, man. They've been showing a lot of love. But I've been getting a lot of love from different people all over the world, man, just after becoming number one, and it's kind of crazy, bro. It's kind of crazy, like
Kind of like being a local celebrity in a way.
yeah, man. And really, I didn't even care. You know, to be honest with you, I didn't even care about being number one for a long time. I just really,
You just wanted to dethrone Ruka.
yeah, that, and then I just really wanted to make my name as the greatest Capricorn player, you know, and then whatever came with that. You know, if that meant that I was going to be the number one player in the game, then cool.
And I mean, well, you did it. There's really not much to say about it. I mean, you did it. You did a smashing good job. Now, not to cut things short, but we've been on this question for quite a bit, so I'm going to move on to the next question here.
Okay, that's cool.
You are the last true number one player on Eyes of Heaven, the first to dethrone Ruka. Describe the very moment where you had won the game, you had dethroned Ruka, right when the game had ended. How did that moment feel? Describe the feeling in that moment.
It was like, bro, like the most satisfying thing, man, because, like I said, it was a 10-month grind of just facing so many different guys, and then when I finally got to play Ruka again, like, you know what I mean, it was just like, bro, like there was a part in the match, bro, and I just lost them from like one part of what were we playing on? Boing Cape, I believe, yeah. No, it wasn't Boing Cape. It was actually Cape Canaveral. My bad. It was Cape Canaveral. And man, I just lost them.
All maps.
Like out of all the maps, right?
Wow. So, odd choice.
That's actually his favorite stage to play on, so I was just going off of his preference, you know. So yeah, I just lost them from one side of the map. I used you know, Capricorn has a very effective launcher, man. And you know, if you know how to actually stack it right, it can do a lot of damage and look really cool. You know, it has a cool animation. So pretty much he was in the one corner of the stage, and actually I jumped to his side and kept my distance on him, kept a nice amount of distance to him, and hit him with that launcher, and he went flying from one side of the stage all the way to the other side of the stage, and next thing I know, he flew out of the room, and you know what I mean? So it was like, that was always a great moment for me, man, just knowing I was the first person in Eyes of Heaven history to take Ruka from that number one spot, man, and claim it for myself, and actually be the first guy to do it legit in a long time, bro, because, you know, I know we'll get into it later on, but like, the only guys that have actually reached number one legit is myself, Rocket, I believe Death Gaze and Shoku, you know what I mean? Like, we're the only ones legit that did it. So it was a real honor for me to actually do that the legit way, you know what I mean? And people actually see it through the rank, you know, vlogs and grind that I did on YouTube and stuff like that. So yeah, man.
Well, now my guess is that it's Ruka, but who was, through your entire Eyes of Heaven journey, who was your biggest rival? Your number one rival? Who was it?
Like, as far as, I guess, yeah, like, well, popularity-wise, I would say Ruka. But skill-wise, I would have to give that to Iron Sippy. He kind of came out of nowhere, man. Like, took a lot of people by surprise, man. You know, because he was a player nobody had really heard of. You know what I mean? He came like early last year. I don't know where he's at now. I think he got banned or whatever, bro. He was banned because he was just being a dick to everybody in the community and turning people against each other, man. But
I haven't heard too much about him, but I have talked to a few people about him, and from most of what I heard, people didn't really like him, from at least from what I've heard.
Yeah, man, he was a really bad guy, bro. Like, he was making people beef, starting fake beefs with people for no reason, like some he said, she said type shit. Like, oh yeah, this person said that was talking trash about you. I just wanted to let you know the whole time that person never said anything about you. You know what I mean? It was crazy, bro. And a lot of people like stopped being friends that were friends previously because of this guy. You know what I mean? And a lot of misunderstanding. A lot of people just started beefing. They just didn't need to be beefing, bro. Like, it was just stupid. But yeah, he was skill wise. He was really good at the game, though. He mained Part 3 Dio and Young Joseph.
That's a bit of an odd main, no? Part 3 Dio?
Yeah, especially for my Cacuan, man. It made for some pretty epic matches, man.
You know, only the lesser version of Diego.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah,
all I'm saying, Diego beat Johnny. Dio didn't beat Jotaro. That's all I'm saying.
Exactly. We know which Dio was the better one. But
the better Dio is.
Me and him, we had a lot of grudge matches, man. Very close matches, very close, very sweaty matches, man. You know, probably the only person, well, like, I wouldn't say the only person, but one of the very few people in this game that actually had me, like, sweating, bro, like, nervous. Like, I don't know if I can actually pull this off type nervous. Like, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, you know, I got the job done, you know. You know, like Catherine says, you know, we're going to do this the old school way, man. Do it in style, man. We got to finish the job in style, man. Just like the old days.
Again, you've done it. You beat him.
Yeah, man.
This isn't one of the questions, but can we just stray to this for a minute?
Yeah, sure.
What battles have you lost? Because so far today we've only heard your victories. What was your biggest loss? Because even champions take L's.
Yeah, I've lost against a few guys, like, I guess, well, Falcon X, he's a really good player. He's a friend of mine. He's a really good player. I lost to him. I guess, like, people that I've actually had beef with, or maybe that's not necessarily beef with, but I didn't know that I've lost to, who can I think of? It was this one guy named Gianni, bro. Like, bro, he was insane. Man, Cars was insane. Who else?
I'm not a fan of Cars mains. I mean, it's
they're kind of cheesy,
Jonathan, like, yeah, it doesn't really take much skill. I mean, Cars, you just spam Shining Sabers and it's a whole lot of damage.
Yeah, he does crazy damage. And you can imagine that's a nightmare for Cat, you know what I mean? But, who else have I actually, like,
at least Cat can run.
To, oh, yeah, Young Sniper. Young Sniper was, he was a pretty good, he made Gyro, actually.
Gyro, really?
Yeah, he pretty good run.
Jonathan mains scare me, but Gyro mains, they terrify me. Gyro is such a good character.
He is, man.
He's just so tricky.
Yeah, he was hitting me with those the steel balls, bro. Like the gyro scan ability is insane, bro. It's a pain to actually. That's actually like one of the things that like he would actually do to counter my zoning capabilities, bro. Like it would be insane.
You can't lock onto him.
Yeah, between that too, bro. And then like you said, combine that with scan, bro. It's like Gyro's so broken.
I would hate to fight him. I mean, Gyro's probably the best alternate world Diego main counter.
Yeah.
Of all alternate world Diego counters that aren't a character that's just broken like Jonathan, because Jonathan can counter anyone, I'd say Gyro's the best. He's the best counter.
And then I would say, like, lastly, I would say, Alone Weekly, we used to have some pretty fun matches. You know, he's another friend of mine. We had some pretty.
Yeah, he's cool.
Matches.
I mean, I don't mean to. I don't want to sound rude or anything. He is a much better player than I am, but he does seem a little overhyped. I mean, he's beat me, but I've beaten him. I think our score is even. Actually, I think it's either it's 2-2 or it's 1-1. We haven't fought in quite a while though.
Okay.
All right, so we're a little off track here. Back to the main questions. Since you've retired from Eyes of Heaven, there have been numerous VP farmers claiming the top spot. Like, for example, first place when I was Cool Clown. How do you... I'm sorry, I'm going to re-say this. I just tripped out.
It's cool.
Since you're retired from Eyes of Heaven, there have been numerous BP farmers falsely claiming the top spot on the leaderboard. How do you feel about this? What do you think of these people?
Oh, man, I think it's a complete joke, man. It makes the North American leaderboard look bad, you know. I can't say this enough. The top guys on the leaderboard, those guys that were in the top 10 that aren't in the top 10 anymore because of these clowns, you know, because of guys like Ruka, because of guys like Cool Clown, and who are the other guys, the new guys he brought with him, the I33E guy, whatever, like all these randoms that are farmed up, man, like, you know, it makes us look bad. It takes away from the legitimacy. Like, when you have guys like myself and Rocket and Shoku, you know, who've done it the legit way, you know, and have put in countless hours on the game, like, you can look at our player cards and see who's the frauds and who are the legit guys on the leaderboard, you know what I mean? Like, you got guys like Cool Clown who only have like a few hundred hours on the game. He probably has like the most, like 400, 500 hours or whatever on the game, but he has like 3 million BP, bro. It's bullshit. Like, and then like it doesn't even add up. Like, your hours, your amount of playtime and your BP don't even add up, for one. Then you look at the win-to-loss ratio. It's like you can tell who's farming. It's like nobody's gonna have like 3,000 wins and 0 losses, Ruka. You know what I mean? Like, that's, you know, it's crazy. It's unheard of, man. Like,
I actually heard he got handed his first, well, not his first L, obviously, but the first L that went on his record, I heard actually got handed to him not too long ago, and it was actually by a woman, apparently. I mean,
yeah, a friend of mine, Johnny, yeah, and a friend of mine named Big Boss, they pretty much set him up. And I guess Ruka, they wanted to play Ruka, and Ruka was like, oh no, I don't play guys. I would much rather play a hot girl or something like that. And the guy Johnny, he was like, we can arrange that. I think he got his girlfriend to actually play Ruka, and she's never played Eyes of Heaven a day in her life. And from what I heard, she pretty much dusted him in a match, and he just accepted the loss. He was just like, yeah, I'd rather lose to a hot girl than to a sweaty guy, man.
I mean, there's so many things wrong with that, but at least he stayed and accepted the L.
Right, at least he actually stayed, bro. I'm like, oh, he actually stayed and accepted the L? What? They made history with
or
that.
Or did he? I guess he didn't, actually. 2,906 wins, 0 losses, and his alt has 0 losses as well.
Oh my god.
So I guess he doesn't have
He found a way to reset it or leave at the right exact time. He probably left at the right exact time so it wouldn't, you know what I mean, like it wouldn't catch or anything. That's crazy, bro. But yeah, man. These farmers, bro. I always say this, like, it prevents Eyes of Heaven from being bigger. You know what I mean? Like, if we were to ever have anything like, I know Eyes of Heaven would never have an Evo, but I'm just figuratively, like, speaking. Like, if we were to have, like, an Evo type of event with Eyes of Heaven, or maybe even like how Last Survivor does in Japan, where they have, like, JoJo Bizarre Adventure Last Survivor, they have, like, all the best players come into a room and play each other. Like, we had, like, the North American players, the best North American players versus the best European players versus the best Japanese players versus the best South American players all in one building. We would lose that, bro. Because I guarantee you, like, I already know Japan's leaderboard is way more legit than ours. Like,
Japan is insane. The players that they've got over there,
insane.
That is like some nightmare shit.
Like, one of my friends over there, he has like 15,000, like 26,000 wins or some shit like that, bro. I'm just like, I can't even fathom that, bro. I'm over here like 4,000 something, bro. I was just like, this man.
I'm over here 1,000.
But then again, he's been playing the game since like 2016, since it actually came out. So he had like,
Regardless,
2
though,
years before
20,000 wins.
Yeah, that's still a lot.
All right. 1 second. Let me quickly end this clip.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. You want to continue on this question, or are you ready to move on to the next question?
Yes. No. Well, I did. So, yeah, man, as far as like the farmers, like the new players that are coming into the game, one thing I don't want is like for the new players that are coming into Eyes of Heaven to see the leaderboard and think that guys like Cool Clown and guys like Ruka and, you know, these other goofballs are legit, or like they're the real deal, because they're not. Like, you know, it was a whole group of guys, you know, who did it the legit way, you know, whether they were number one or even just in the top 10, you know what I mean? There's a whole group of guys like, you know, Shoku, Death Gaze, Rocket Snickers, you know, myself, who else? DH. We can go down the line, man. I believe, who else? Zatsuki. Zatsuki changed his username to something else. I forgot what it is now, but he was really good. Yoshio, you know what I mean? Like, we can go down the line, bro. There's so many GOATs, you know, that deserve to be recognized and deserve to still be in the top 10, you know, and for these new players to come in and, you know, just kind of like make a mockery of the leaderboard and just the game, bro. It just paints a bad look on the game, bro. It takes away the legitimacy of the North American leaderboard when you got clowns like these guys, you know, just taking up all the spots.
Literally clowns.
Literally.
His name is Cool Clown, and he has the circus buddies with him too. I33E.
Yeah, man. Yeah, like all these guys, like where do these guys even come from, bro? Like it's
kind of appear one day, man.
That's why I always say, like,
he is not just a clown; he's the whole circus.
The whole circus, man. Lion, tigers, bears, all of that. And you know, I've even exposed him myself in one of my YouTube videos, man. I've made the guy rage quit numerous times, like over and over and over again, bro. It's for somebody to be the number one player on this game, like rage quitting against another player, like, you know what I mean? Especially somebody in the top 10 is just uncalled for.
It's sad,
bro.
that's what it is.
It's sad, it's pathetic, bro. It shouldn't even happen. Like, there's no excuse for it. You know? But, yeah, man, like I said, like, the real top guys on this game, the real number one players is myself, Ano, Shoku, and Rocket Snickers, Death Gaze, you know, we're the guys, man. Like, you know, we're the real legit number ones who actually have documented proof that, you know, of our journey to number one. And, you know, everybody knows it. Like, everybody's seen what has taken place over the past few years, you know. And, yeah. That's all I got to say about those guys, man. They're just complete clowns, man.
Not just clowns, the whole circus.
The whole circus.
Not to Dally. You mind if I change this next question up a little bit?
Yeah, sure.
So I think now, even with considering all the BP farmers, all the rage quitters, there's been a new generation of Eyes of Heaven players coming in. My group, Diego's World, me, and some of my buddies. Another example, Dio's Left Toe, that would be Calm Rider and all of his buddies. Then you got a few stray people. There's a lot of new players, not a whole lot, but there's a good few new players coming into the game now. Are there any of these new players that you think might be something that any of these players that you think have potential? And if so, are there any advice for these players or for this new generation of Eyes of Heaven players in general?
Yeah, man, it's a few guys, you know, you being one of them, you know, who else? I would say Dutch. Dutch is pretty solid. Mater.
Dutch is pretty good.
Mater has been doing his thing. with his new moon Poochie.
His new moon Poochie, ooh, dude, that shit gave me PTSD. Still can't beat Alternate World Diego, though.
And
But yeah,
Kamen Rider is doing his thing. You know, it's a lot of new guys, man, like that are doing their thing. I seen Choppa, I believe. I'm not really sure how new Choppa is. I'm not sure if that's like his second account or not, but
Choppa is very good.
Yeah, he's pretty good, man. I've seen him in tournaments and just a few clips here and there. You know, he's doing his thing, man. He's doing his thing out here. Definitely commendable.
Remember when, sorry, a bit of a sidetrack. Remember when we trolled Choppa and Bubbly with the under the map glitch?
Oh, yeah, bro. That was hilarious.
That was fun.
That was hilarious. Type of deep connection with. Like I said, my deep connection into it's going to be a lot of the glitches, man, because they're pretty fun to play around when both people know.
As long as you don't use them to win, it was me.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, man, that was a fun match, bro. We had a lot of fun playing around with the glitches. I just wish more people would be more open-minded to the glitches, man, because they're pretty fun to play around when both people know.
Yeah, as long as you don't use them to win, they can be pretty fun.
Yeah, just kind of only use the glitches like when you're playing your friends or whatever, or if you're playing somebody like that's being a troll to you, you know what I mean? They're being like extra trolls, so you want to flex on them real quick. Like, I know how to do this, though.
Takes a trickster to trick a trickster.
Right. Then you're completely justified in using the glitch. But other than that, man, yeah, don't use the glitch.
But is there any advice that you have for these new players?
Yeah, I would say that, you know, going into online, you definitely know what you're getting yourself into. It's going to be a lot of toxic people that you're going to come across in this community. Not everybody, but probably about a good 85-90%. You know what I mean? Just be prepared for it. Just be mentally prepared for it. The eyes of heaven, and it's like I always compare it to getting beaten over the head with a baseball bat, you know, and somehow surviving and enjoying it at the same time in a sick way, you know. But you know, you gotta get used to it, and also try to go into it maining a character that you have some type of deep connection with. Like I said, my deep connection with Jacqueline, you know, and just the way we both grew up and his personality, you know what I mean, and how he started off as the villain and turned into the good guy and one of the most lovable members in, you know, JoJo, you know. But yeah, try to stick with a character that you have a deep connection with, because then you'll play with more passion, you know. You'll be more passionate in your play style.
I can confirm that. I mean, especially with Alternate World Diego, if you can connect with your character or imagine yourself as your character or your character as yourself, I think then you'll do better, because anyone can just play Jonathan and just storm through lobbies without actually using any skill. But if you get a main that you really have a connection with, it doesn't matter who it is. They can be it can be Iggy. It's awesome, man. If you really find your main who works for you, it's awesome.
Yep. Yeah, man.
Everyone needs a main. Everyone needs a main.
Everybody, man. Like, you know, I know a lot of people try to give certain people flack about who they decide to main, but, you know, ultimately, like, it's 50-something characters, you know. Every character does something different, you know what I mean? Like, as long as you're not, like, maining Pet Shop, like the banned characters that everybody can agree is just banned in the game, like Pet Shop and, you know, stuff like that.
Even Jonathan,
cool,
as long as, well, never mind.
Yeah, I mean, even Jonathan players, as scummy as they can be, bro. Even Jonathan players, man, like, you know, there's people that love Jonathan and can relate to Jonathan in some way that I'm sure there's there's somebody on that game that just like Jonathan's my favorite character because I just have this connection with Jonathan. You know, that's why they made him. So you kind of can't really knock him for it, you know. But it gives room to, you know, learn the different capabilities of characters and what other players bring to the game, and helps you as a new player improve because, you know, you're playing all these different people who have different play styles, you know what I mean? Like, you might play one guy that's you know, he likes to set traps in zone, and then the next guy you might play, he likes to actually just fight you straight up and just be like a, you know, try to do like a run on you, like a quick run on you and shit, try to finish you off as like quick as possible, you know. But,
those are actually two play styles that I like to make that one play style. If you play a character that can trap anything, literally just put stage trap something, stay by it. I mean, it's you can play defensively and offensively with pretty much any character. I mean, Diego, you have barbed wire. Even Mariah, you know, you can put the magnetized traps. You can put those in objects. I mean,
yeah, that's OP, man. Yeah, man, bad.
That's really scary, man. I mean, you're blocking. You get magnetized. You get comboed, knocked down, magnetized more. Get up, charge at Mariah. Oh, this pole was magnetized. Now you're magnetized more. Oh, now there's this car flying towards you.
Yeah, man. It's crazy. Like,
Mariah is scary, dude.
A lot. Then they had the nerve to put her in All-Star Battle. Oh, man, that's going to be crazy. But that's another subject.
That is a topic for another day.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think Pet Shop Pet Shop at least, I don't think is going to be as powerful, as broken as he is in Eyes of Heaven, because the playing field, on a 3D playing field, it's very easy to see why a character like Pet Shop would be broken, especially because if Pet Shop's flying and, you know, you lock onto him, you can't even see your own character.
Right.
While on a 2D playing field, it's way different.
Yes, he doesn't have that maneuverability to fly around
and
anymore, you know.
He can't just click X, go into the air, and avoid almost every attack.
Yep. Yeah, I look forward to trapping Pet Shop players in midair with my Hierophant. Hierophant Green is wrapping things up in midair.
I cannot wait. I cannot wait to see Calm Rider on All-Star Battle Remastered with his Pet Shop. Oh my god, it's going to be so fun.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I would say that's my advice to the new players, man. And also just don't be influenced by the foolishness that's going on. Like, don't be influenced to farm, man. Just do it the legit way. If you legitimately want to be on the leaderboard, if you really want to get your name on the leaderboard, man, in a good position, like, do it the legit way. Yeah, it's gonna take a long time, but that's the beauty of it, man. Like, the grind, like the years that you put into the game, like, because when it's all said and done, bro, you're gonna have much to look back on and have so much accomplished. You know what I mean? Like, in that time, like, you know. But honestly, like, the leaderboard really doesn't matter anymore because of the BP farmers.
It's just so broken.
Yeah, man. It really took
the top
the
10
wind
are
out.
just BP farmers.
Yeah. The whole top 10 is, like you said, is a straight BP farmer now, bro.
Number 1, Cool Clown. Number 2, Ruka. Number 3, I33. Number 4, Doughboy. Wow. Number 5, Ruka's alt accounts. Number 6, Choppa. Number 7, Red J. Number 8, Demigod Lag. That sounds familiar. Number 9, Didiich. Number 10, Alone Weekly. I'm surprised Weekly's actually on the top 10. So, you, Shoku, Rocket, and Deathgaze are the Mount Rushmore of Eyes of Heaven. The only players to reach number 1 on the leaderboard, legitimately becoming the Lords of Heaven. What does your legacy mean to you?
Oh, man, it means everything to me, bro, because, to be honest with you, like, Eyes of Heaven was, like, the first game that I was actually, like, the best player in, you know what I mean? Like, before that, I played a lot of different fighting games, you know, arena fighters and stuff like that. but I was never able to actually get on the leaderboard. I was never able to actually be like a recognizable member of the community that, you know, that everybody knew about, you know, or at least heard about, you know, in some type of way. And, you know, when I achieved that on Eyes of Heaven, bro, it was just like so satisfying, man, because it was just a big moment, bro. Like, it was something I've never done before, you know, with any game. So just to be known as the greatest Catcoin player of all time and solidify that, and then on top of that, becoming the #1 player in 2021
in
North America, bro, like the entire country, bro.
Quite the feat.
Crazy. Like the entire country, just solidify my name in that position,
The entire
bro.
continent.
Yeah, bro.
I mean, I'm up here in Canada, man.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, because you guys would have the same version, yeah. So it's man. Wow, that's a lot. It's like America, Canada. I'm trying to remember. Does South America use our version? I'm trying to remember if they use our version. I think they have their own version. South America.
I think South America does have their own version of the game, and I think Mexico also plays the South American version, even though Mexico is part of North America. Bit odd, but
yeah, they're close enough. They can pretty much use ours, but they probably use the South American version, I'm guessing. But yeah, bro.
Especially because if they play with anyone from Canada, oof.
Yeah, that connection is, oh my God. Like white bar connection completely, bro.
You'll have like a double white bar if you play on Japanese servers. North American version, put a group of us together, grind ranked. It's the only game I'm gonna play, bro. You're gonna have to be there helping us.
Oh yeah, bro. I'm committed now, bro. I'm definitely getting the American version, man. Yeah, we gotta make this happen.
We will be the All-Star Battle Crusaders.
Oh yeah, bro. I'm looking forward to it, man.
Calculating some other characters.
Yeah.
It'll be epic, man. I'm already looking forward to it.
Yeah, man. Me too. Like a few more months.
I still have to pre-order the game, to be honest. I still haven't done it.
Me too. You get that, bro. You get like 5 like unique outfits. I think it's like 5 or 10 actually, like 5 or 10 unique outfits. Like if you pre-order it.
Yeah, there's one where with Jolene's prison jacket too. No.
Oh yeah, that one.
I'm not gonna play Jolene, but I mean, hey, free cosmetic for pre-ordering. Yeah.
Doesn't Diego get something? I think Diego gets something too. I think he was one of them.
He does. Really?
He gets like a new colorway or something like that.
Because I'm gonna main alternate world Diego, which I'd be to think they add into that, but I'm still gonna play Scary Monsters. You know, Scary Monsters is still pretty cool. You know, Scary Monsters.
That's gonna be epic. Little mini
Diego is epic,
popping up out of nowhere. My man is literally like tossing dinosaurs from his pocket, bro.
Besides Johnny, no one's. Yeah, Diego really is kind of broken too. Besides Johnny, no one else came anywhere close to killing Valentine.
Yeah.
Diego had Valentine so desperate, Valentine closed himself between water and the ground.
He's like, he's not coming over here.
I mean, dude, Diego was such a Chad. He died thinking he won. He didn't even realize his own body was cut in half.
Yeah, man, that was.
All right, sorry. This is your question. Anything else on the final question before we wrap this up?
I guess, as far as my legacy, bro, I think, I pretty much just touched on it. Like, you know, I just wanted to be the greatest Catcoin player. You know, at first, like I said, I didn't always care about being #1 at first. That wasn't my initial goal. My initial goal was just to be the best Catcoin player, and, you know, becoming #1 kind of came with that, you know, and I just really accepted the role, and, you know, just, I guess that would really be the biggest thing for me, man, you know, accomplishing that, and then becoming, like I said, becoming #1 and putting my name up there in the Mount Rushmore of Eyes of Heaven, man, like some of the only guys that have done it the legit way, you know, it's an honor. So I would say that was probably the main thing I want to be remembered for, man, as the guy that did it the legit way, man. Like, you know, he grinded it out. He fought the good fight, man. He had countless thousands on thousands on thousands of matches, man, that he's, you know, win or loss, you know, he was a champion through all of them, like, you know, so it's, man, I'm just glad to even be even in that, like, conversation, you know what I mean?
Yeah, man. I mean, really, true. I mean, too, when I didn't start playing this game when I met you, but I started playing the game in a few weeks, maybe a month later I met you. But I was still pretty bad at the game, dude. I remember that after that game I looked, I was like, wait, what the? No way, that's the same guy. He's second on the leaderboard right now, and, you know. But then we started playing, we started talking. I met Scotty, met Dutch. They were both pretty cool. I mean, Dutch, I don't know how he, for some reason, had fallen out with me, but they were both really cool. You know, we all had a great time. We all had a blast. You know, you taught me quite a bit, and I mean, I'm happy to say I'm glad I could play Eyes of Heaven with you, man, and I'm looking forward to playing All-Star Battle or Master with you, and I'm looking forward to us putting together the All-Star Battle Crusaders. But
hell yeah,
I hate to cut it short if you have anything else to say, but I'm gonna have to wrap this up, man. Hey, check out, this is Doughboy, I'd say the greatest Eyes of Heaven player, at least in North America, in my opinion. Go check out his Eyes of Heaven documentary. This dude is the heart of the community. This dude's awesome, all right, man?
Appreciate
I'm gonna go, everyone. Yeah, I appreciate you too, man. Have a good one, all right?
All right, man, you too.
And this, ladies and gentlemen, brings the Book of Heaven to a sad close. Although it had many amazing events and a rich history of competitive battles between players, a dedicated community, and honestly, a really great game. We've met the greats, and we've learned the history of this amazing game. None of these players, nor their accomplishments, will be lost in time. They are forever immortalized in the Book of Heaven. Maybe their stories will even inspire you to become a legend and reach heaven yourself. I'm Call Me Chemical, but you can call me Chemical. Thank you for watching.
そこから新しいものを生み出すであろう。最後に必要なものは場所である。北緯28度24分、西経80度36分へ行き、次の新月の時を待て。